Hello, I am Jessica Lee from the United States of America. Water forms as the most essential liquid on Earth. It is made of tiny units called molecules, which are combinations of smaller units called atoms. Without water, essential sustenance is not possible. Unfortunately, water is not finite. Furthermore, microbes, salt, contamination, and pollution from agricultural and industrial productions, for example, threaten water sources as clean, drinkable, and sanitized water are needed for sustenance. According to statistics, more than 37 million people in California are impacted by droughts. January 2022 remains as one of the driest months. The constant drought condition has challenged agricultural productions from reaching their optimal capacity, increased the likelihood of developing or aggravating health issues, including respiratory diseases and heat strokes, and prompted locals to take up water conservation measures, issuing notifications in communities. Water is essential for everyday life, whether this is as simple as having clean and drinkable water, water to washing vegetables and prepare for a nice home meal, or flushing the toilet. We need to provide sustainable water management to ensure continuous, uninterrupted water services for agricultural production, irrigation, living, entertainment, business, and social functioning. Overpumping of groundwater has led to subsidence. Acts, policies, and action plans, such as the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act and the Groundwater Sustainability Plan, are enacted to prepare, respond, and maintain water management, such as groundwater management. The California Department of Water Resources, for example, helps locals to manage groundwater use. Examining the relationship between hazards and disasters, supply and quality of water, and our interactions and needs, we continue to seek innovative and sustainable measures to address the climate reality. And this requires collaboration between public and private sectors, communities, NGOs, civil society, and individuals. For those reasons, this year, to raise awareness on the importance of water and celebrate the World Water Day, Youngo, the Nature Working Group, Water Working Group, Ocean's Voice, and Young Power organized online conferences on the 19th and 22nd of March 2022 under the theme Impact of Climate Change on Groundwater Aquifer, The Way Forward. The convenience of virtual conferences lets you to actively engage in discussions anywhere. Please register by filling out the Google form. We hope to see you this year at the conferences. Hello, I am Jessica Lee from the United Hello, I am Jessica Lee from the United States of America. Water forms as the most essential liquid on Earth. It is made of tiny units called molecules, which are combinations of smaller units called atoms. Without water, essential sustenance is not possible. Unfortunately, water is not finite. Furthermore, microbes, salt, contamination, and pollution from agricultural and industrial productions, for example, threaten water sources as clean, drinkable, and sanitized water are needed for sustenance. According to statistics, more than 37 million people in California are impacted by droughts. January 2022 remains as one of the driest months. The constant drought condition has challenged agricultural productions from reaching their optimal capacity, increased the likelihood of developing or aggravating health issues, including respiratory diseases and heat strokes, and prompted locals to take up water conservation measures, issuing notifications in communities. Water is essential for everyday life, whether this is as simple as having clean and drinkable water, water to washing vegetables and preparing for a nice home meal, or flushing the toilet. We need to provide sustainable water management to ensure continuous, uninterrupted water services for agricultural production, irrigation, and clean drinking water. Water is essential for everyday life, whether this is as simple as having clean and drinkable water, water to washing vegetables and preparing for a nice home meal, or flushing the toilet. We need to provide sustainable water management to ensure continuous, uninterrupted water services for agricultural production, irrigation, and clean drinking water. Water is essential for everyday life, whether this is as simple as having clean and drinkable water, water to washing vegetables and preparing for a nice home meal, or flushing the toilet. We need to provide sustainable water management to ensure continuous, uninterrupted water services for agricultural production, irrigation, and clean drinking water.
Um, Hello, Zainab.
Hi,
You hear me?
Sandy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can.
yeah. We can start because in 10 a.m. EST, I think we can start doing it.
Yeah, I think we can start. Perhaps let's wait for 2 more minutes for people to join in, John Lee, and then maybe we can start because it's,
Okay, that's good.
yeah. Meanwhile, welcome to all the participants. Maybe if you could please share your organization and from where you are joining us from in the chat, I think it would be great to get like a brief overview of from where people have joined us today.
Hello, I am Jessica Lee from the United States of America. Water forms as the most essential liquid on Earth. It is made of tiny units called molecules, which are combinations of smaller units called atoms. Without water, essential sustenance is not possible. Unfortunately, water is not finite. Furthermore, microbes, salt, contamination, and pollution from agricultural and industrial productions, for example, threaten water sources as clean, drinkable, and sanitized water are needed for sustenance. According to statistics, more than 37 million people in California are impacted by droughts. January 2022 remains as one of the driest months. The constant drought condition has challenged agricultural productions from reaching their optimal capacity, increased the likelihood of developing or aggravating health issues, including respiratory diseases and heat strokes, and prompted locals to take up water conservation measures, issuing notifications in communities. Water is essential for everyday life, whether this is as simple as having clean and drinkable water, water to washing vegetables and preparing for a nice home meal, or flushing the toilet. We need to provide sustainable water management to ensure continuous, uninterrupted water services for agricultural production,
Yeah, I think we can
irrigation, and
start
clean
now.
drinking
Hi,
water.
everyone. Before I start, I would just like to make a check if Elizabeth has also joined us.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay, great. So, good afternoon, everyone from Pakistan. This is Zainab Zahid, your host for today's session. I'm contact point of Youngo's Water and Climate Working Group, and I welcome you all to this webinar titled Impact of Climate Change on Groundwater Aquifer, a Way Forward. So, as different activities are being organized to commemorate the World Water Day around the globe, this two-day conference is being presented to you through the joint efforts of the Water and Climate Working Group, Nature Working Group, and Oceans Working Group of Youngo. So this whole event is being presented to you by youth for youth. So let's celebrate that. For information of our audience, I am assuming that there must be some people who are not part of Youngo. So just to briefly introduce you to what Youngo actually is. Youngo is basically a children and youth constituency of the UNFCCC, and Youngo particularly works on some specific aspects of climate change within the UNFCCC negotiations to ensure that perspectives of youth from all across the globe are taken into account in the multilateral decision-making processes. We'd like to bring the challenges and gaps to the spotlight and basically seek a way forward of those particular challenges which we usually see and we experience around us. So before formally starting, I would request all the participants to share their organizations and also where you are joining us from, maybe your city, your country in the chat for engagement. And secondly, for the smooth overflow of the session, I'll request our audience to be mindful of some housekeeping guidelines. Number one, please keep your mics turned off, and if you are comfortable, you may turn on your cameras. And if you have any queries or if you are coming up with any questions that you want to ask to our panelists, maybe you can drop them in the chat and we will pick them at the end of this session. Sorry for any background noise from my end because there is some construction work going on. So I think you will be hearing some weird noises in the background. So apologies for that. Now moving on. Um, I will just give like a brief introduction of why we are here and a brief introduction of a background of the World Water Day. So as you all know that World Water Day is commemorated on 22nd of the March every year. The event is particularly to basically draw attention of the world on the importance of water, and this year the theme is groundwater. Um, so the groundwater basically draws attention of the world to the hidden water resource that has always been critically important but is not fully recognized in the policy making process. And this year's theme, making invisible visible, basically addresses this issue of including the groundwater in the policy making process and include it in the negotiations, in the decision making and policy making as well. As we all know, the groundwater plays a vital role in our daily water and sanitation system, in the agriculture industry, in maintaining the ecosystem, and also an important role in climate change adaptation. Um, just to highlight a few interesting facts, I would share that groundwater is particularly a vital resource that provides almost half of the drinking water across the globe, and about 40% of the groundwater is used for the irrigation purposes for agricultural use, and one third of this water is required for industry. So, nevertheless, we can see that it's not just important for the human use directly, but also supports the indirect processes which we are basically doing in industries, in the agricultural production. So it is very important to save the groundwater resources to ensure the sustainability and sustaining our life, basically. Also, it's somehow linked with the SDG 6, that is clean water and sanitation. And the groundwater advocacy basic provides a strong case for defining a new groundwater resource status indicators in the SDG 6 targets, that is 6.3, 6.4, and 6.6 particularly. And as I previously have mentioned, that groundwater also plays an important role in climate change adaptation processes. Uh, it often provides a solution for people without access to safe water. Because maybe if a country has a good water infrastructure, but another country where the infrastructure is not much developed, at least groundwater is present there to ensure the water accessibility to them. So it's an important it plays an important part for promoting the climate change adaptation and solution for people without access to the safe drinking water. I think I've added a lot to the facts, but again, our approach is same. That is, out of sight is kept out of mind. Equally in the undeveloping world, underdeveloping, I think, equally in the developing as well as underdeveloping world. But again, since the pressure on natural resources, including the groundwater resources, is increasing, it's very important to address this issue and see how we can basically preserve our waterways and ensure the availability of clean water to populations around us. We cannot deny this fact that protection of the groundwater is central for our survival and for adaptation to climate change. So, with this background introduction, I will move to introduce our very young panelists who have joined us today. So, our first panelist is Malik. Malik is from Tunisia and she has been working as a youth focal point for Unify, which is a youth constituency of Water and Climate Coalition working under WMO. And she is doing her MS in Environmental Management. We are also joined by Elizabeth from Kenya, currently pursuing Masters of Science in Agriculture Production Change Management and specializing in forest change in Netherlands. She is an environmental enthusiast with a specialty in forestry and is founder of the Green Path community. Our third panelist would be John Lee Baptiste, uh, and he is from Nature Working Group of Youngo. John Lee is from Haiti, and he has a Bachelor of Agriculture and has been working in the protection of biodiversity and environment since 2017. John Lee is also co-founder of Youth for Oceans, and he is member of Haitian Parliament for Water and Sanitation and co-coordinator for Global Youth Biodiversity Network in Haiti. I would like to once again welcome to all our attendees and all our speakers for being very graciously joining us today. So I think I will formally start and move on to our first speaker, Malik. Malik, if you could please share your presentation. She has prepared a small introductory presentation for you all just to build this momentum, and then we will move on to our panel discussion. So Malik, over to you, please.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me clearly. So my name is Marek, and I'm from Tunisia. The
Malik,
subject of
sorry for interrupting you. If you could please put your presentation on the presenting mode.
yes, it's in the presenting mood.
Okay, so we can see your slide. If you can just press F5 on your computer.
Is it okay now? Is it clear?
No, it's not. If you could just press this icon before 91%, where it shows your size of the slide in the footer. If you can press this third item, which will put in a slideshow. If not, then I think it's fine. We can proceed with that. No worries.
I will start again. Maybe. How about now? I can't hear you, Zainab. Is it clear now? Okay. So the water problem is a really personal problem for me because I'm coming from Tunisia and my country is a water scarce country. We have inequality in distributing the water across the country, and and the water is a scarce resource in our country. So I wanted to start with some facts about the water. Water is liquid that is essential to our life. Water is the most studied material in Earth. We are about 2/3 water and require water to live. 60% of our body is composed by water. So just to know the importance of this resource. Life as we know, it could not have evolved without water and dies without it. We wash in it, fish in it, swim in it, drink it, and cook with it. Actually, here I would like to mention a quote that I really like of an American and British poet. He said before, like, thousand lived without love, but none live without water. To emphasize like about the importance of water. Like we can live without food, we can live without love, we can live without emotions, but we cannot live without water. Water is essential to our life. It's essential to agriculture to grow food. It's essential to industry. It's essential to wash for our hygiene, for our health. But we cannot live with it. So about water. So water covers nearly 70% of the world, but only 2.5% of it is fresh. The rest is saline and ocean-based. So 97% is saline and ocean-based. However, only 1% of our fresh water is easily accessible, with the majority trapped in glacier and snowfields. So as we see, the water covers 70% of the world. However, 2.5% of this water is fresh, and from the 2.5%, only 1% could be accessible. So fresh water is a renewable resource. And now we will see like how fresh water is a renewable resource. So why is water considered a renewable resource? Water has a rain cycle. It evaporates after being exposed to high temperature. 90% of water in rivers, lakes, and oceans go through such transformation, and so water can later be renewed when the vapor condenses. So we can see from this cycle here how the water it evaporates and then it's renewed by itself. So it evaporates due to the high temperature, and then how it renew. So this make water as this cycle make water a renewable resource. Here we will see some facts, some information about Africa as a country, as a continent, sorry, and those informations I took them from the UNFCCC website, from presentation of the African group. I thought it's interesting to share with everyone and see the vulnerability of our region. 30% of the population in Africa live in arid and semi-arid areas, which have serious water stress and scarcity issues. North Africa is the most water scarce, with just 1% of renewable water resources, but hosting 18% of the continental population. An overexploitation of renewable water in the north already exceeds 150%. The Sahel, Eastern, and Southern regions are water stressed, with close to half, 40%, 46% of the total African population and 80% of the water resources, renewable water resources. This leads to growing water stress, suggests substantial increase in the use of water resources, leading to greater challenges on resource sustainability and a rising potential for conflicts among diverse users. Of the total amount of water withdrawn in Africa, 85% is used in agriculture, 9% for community use, and 6% for industry. So we see the importance of water here for agriculture, for growing crops, for growing food, and for the community and the industry also. Water withdrawal is low, 3.8% for both rainfall and internal renewable resources in Africa, except for Northern African countries with 18.6% for rainfall and 152.6% for internal renewable resources. So the low level, this reflects the low level of development and use of water resources across the continent. So the continent is over-abusing in using the water resources. And this is making the situation worse. So here we can see in the graph the change in water consumption over the 20th century from 1901 to 2010. So we can see the the water consumption in all the continents, regions. We have like South and East Asia, we have Europe, North America, we have Russia and Central Asia, we have the Middle East and Northern Africa. So we can see like in all the continent and all the regions, the consumption of water is growing, and it's really high growing, like even it exceeded 9 times in Australia, Pacific, and Southern Africa and Asia. So we can see like how the consumption of water is exceeding, but we can see also that the water resource is not to overabuse it. So we need to find solution to this topic, and to this sustainability issue, and we need to act upon it. As by 2030, the world population is expected to grow by 2 billion people, putting more strain on water resources. Also, it takes 2,000 to 5,000 liters of water to produce a person daily. So we can see the importance of water in our life, and we can see that the water is not like the usual how to say stereotype, water is only for drinking. No, water is essential for our life in all the main stream of life, whether in agriculture, whether in industry, whether in community activities, whether on daily activities. Water is really essential, and we cannot live without it. But the data and everything and what is happening is predicting the worst cases, because can see the population is expected. We are over consuming the water resources. 10% of all the food we eat come from crops cultivated with wastewater. So here we can see like the importance of recycling water, and trying our best to make sustainable management practices in order to retain our resources. So our responsibility is really big, because this issue needs everyone cooperation in order to solve it. And I'm happy to share this panel and to be present today here with youth, because we as youth, we are always looking forward to find the solution and to contribute in solving the water issues and finding the water solutions. So I hope by this presentation, I could give a glimpse about the water issue that happening in my continent and my region, and how water is important and how water is not, it passed the mainstream of drinking, and it is involving everything in our life. And I hope if anyone can share in the comment section below, what water means to you. Thank you. So if you can share what waters means to you in the comment section below, it will be helpful, and also to highlight together the importance of water in our lives. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Malik, for joining. Means a lot of how young people are actually right cause. So I will move on to our next speaker, who is Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, if you could please share your views on how young people can play their part in saving the water resources in their community, how they can mobilize themselves and other around them, because you already have been involved in such activities through your initiatives. So we would love to hear your comments on that.
Okay, thank you. I do have a presentation about it, so I don't mind if I should share my views
Yeah,
so rather
definitely.
than slides.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, okay. Is it visible to everyone? Is my screen visible?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's visible.
Okay. I'm going to talk about how youth save their community from having unsafe water. And based on the UNEP report, we have seen that to over access to clean water is a human right. And however, based on the recent report from UNEP, we see that over 1.8 billion people globally they use contaminated water. So it is also reported that over 2.4 billion people lack access to basic sanitation services. And I okay, sorry. I tend to I tend to relate the issues related to water, related to environment in terms of interdependent cycle where all living things and non-living things are related. So in this case where you can see a man, which represent of course human being, they are in the middle, and there's plant, there's animal, there's water, there's air. So anything, any interference that is caused by any but by one of them, which is man, of course, any interference affect the other. And most of cases, we human being are superior. All our activities affect our environment. And in this case, when we are talking about water and land, like you can see that all water are caused by human activity, which affect the groundwater through infiltration. And this also affect the life of animals. And if we destroy plant at the same time, also it affects how plants help us in clearing water, like making the water clean and all that. So that's how I tend to look at things when it comes to pollution. So why clean water and sanitation matters? As I mentioned earlier, over 80% of wastewater, results from human activity. And these are discharged into the surface area, like surface water. They are also get their way into groundwater through infiltration. And this results to pollution of the groundwater, both the surface and groundwater. And most of it, where I come from, of course, people believe that groundwater are more clean compared to the surface water. But currently, due to pollution and all that, we see that things are changing. And that's why there was a concern of reminding us also groundwater get affected by pollution. And so when our groundwater, or rather surface water, are polluted, it results to issues related to sanitation and water related diseases. And most countries, they spend a lot of money trying to revise all these all these effect of pollution and issues related to dealing with diseases that are caused by water and sanitation. And that's why clean water and sanitation matters. So how can youth help or rather lead community towards conserving our groundwater or rather surface water? There are several ways, and one of them is lobbying and advocacy on sustainable water management. And as we know very well, current youth, we have that power and morale of we have the morale of convincing the government or rather those stakeholders related to various institutions on airing our views and demanding for change. So in this case, youth they play a vital role in managing water resources, and they can act as stakeholders and policy makers, and also take up responsibility of revolutionizing the sustainable water management. And they can do this also through engaging the sensitization activities, such as the door-to-door campaign. And I could relate to this in a way that we cannot protect water resources as youth unless we empower, inform others, or rather sensitize the communities on importance of conserving water resources, importance of managing our waste so that they don't end up in like in water sources. And we also do they can also do water forums like we have today. We are trying to make other people understand the importance. Why is it important to conserve water sources? Why is it important to manage waste in order for us to prevent issues related to pollution of water? And art, some youth use art contest to like do sensitization and create awareness. We can also use the youth can also use online and printed publications. So currently we are using online. They can use social medias in order to create awareness. And we as youth can do educational radio, television in order to also do the sensitization within our community. And other things involve theater, shows, and concerts. And I believe that with all the powers and morale, most youth are now being aware of what they really need and they can take action. And we as a youth, I believe that the main way of leading our community is first start by creating awareness. And then after creating awareness, when people are aware of their impact of their action or rather activity, now they start by taking steps of preventing and dealing with or rather reverting the current situation. And my conclusion to this was that it is important to generate awareness of these roles and turning them into action will lead to win-win results and ensure access to safe water sources and sanitation for all. Yeah, so
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I really like the part where you have mentioned some of the ways through which youth can engage other young people through the arts contest and also through
mhm,
radio, television. Because I think this is one way through which we can kind of bridge this science communication thing by bringing in people from different sectors at one place and sharing these practices by making it in a very kind of informative sustainment thing so that people get interest. So I'm really impressed by your presentation, and I think these are best practices which we all can pick as an audience and implement in our communities. Lovely presentation, Elizabeth. So I will come back to you with my next question. But before that, I would just want to go to John Lee and ask him that how do you see that what are the particular consequences of climate change on groundwater in your community? Because again, you come from Haiti, and I think that is also very pertinent for use of on the topic.
Hello?
Is John Lee with us? Yeah, John Lee, we can hear you.
So this question is for the breakout room. I think I wanna talk about how to act now, but not in the future. So that's my presentation. So some questions are for the breakout room. Okay.
Yeah, so I think if you want to like comment more on the importance of taking timely action for climate and water, and how basically why it's very important to take action now and not in future, I think definitely you can go there.
Yeah, so thank you, Zainab, for introducing me. I'm going to talk about um, how we should act now, but not in the future, because water is really affected around the world. No matter where you live, no matter your situation, so we are completely affected by water. So I'm Tonisha Baptiste. I have a Bachelor of Agriculture, and also I'm the co-founder of Youth for Ocean, and also the director of partnership of Youth for Ocean. Firstly, and what we should know, so what we should have, because our planet is covered with water. We have 70% of water on the planet, so it is easy to think that the planet is really plentiful with water. Yes, that's true, because everywhere is water. But the thing we should bear in mind is only 3% of those is fresh water, as Malik took in her presentation. So we don't really have enough water available. But sadly, the most of the water are using in the agriculture. Moreover, not only in the agriculture, so they are available in frozen glaciers, and also some are unavailable for our use. So that's very sad to see our water is around the world. But what we should keep is many people around the world lack access of water. So not only they are lack access of water, but the water that are available has given a lot of diseases like cholera, like typhoid fever, and waterborne illness. So many children die each year from diarrhea disease alone. So that's very sad to see how the little water available around the world is affected the little population. So, so many of the water system keep thriving and feed going. Human population have become stressed. We have rivers, we have lakes, so a lot of them are really affected around the world. Some are affected because people uh, have traces, so that really affect the water. And also desertification has a lot of effects, so that make water unavailable. Moreover, we have climate change is which is altering pattern of weather and water around the world, and that cause shortages and drought in some area and flood in other. So we should act because we need water to survive. We don't have enough water available around the world. So we should work to save water so that we'll have enough water to use, water to drink, water for agriculture. So we should think a way about the best thing we can do to save water around the world. Because as humans, we can't live without water like Malik said earlier, so we cannot live with love, we cannot live with food, so we cannot live with them, so we cannot live also without water because water is important for all of those things to stay alive. So at the current consumption way, the situation, the lack of water will get worse day by day. We get worse by 2025, two-thirds of the world population may face water shortages. An ecosystem around the world will suffer even more. So we are completely affected. Imagine if the world doesn't have enough water, many people will be dead because water won't be available because we need it every day. You like juice, you like food, you like take shower, but not we cannot do them without water. So for that reason, we should work and think about how your community is affected by by the climate change on all climate change has effect on water in your community and how you can save them. So for that reason, in this activity, we're gonna have breakout room from people from different places around the world so that they can think together about how they can save water in their community or about the impact of leader on having from having good water. So water is affected by pollution. So everywhere we have pollution, and that comes from many sources like pesticide in agriculture, fertilizer. So everywhere people have agriculture, and some water are really untreated, and that create a lot of problems. For instance, in my country, in Haiti, a lot of children have been dead because they don't have safe water to drink. And also industrial waste, they throw the waste in lake, in rivers, and that really affect the life of the people. Even groundwater is not safe from pollution because when for instance when you use agriculture and pesticide when they go to the groundwater and that really affect the life of the biodiversity of the soil and also people that use water to drink. So as human we mustn't leave the thing like that. So we must do something that's really powerful so that we can save the community, we can save the water and water world. Agriculture has a lot of impact, but we need agriculture. Maybe when we are doing irrigation, we should think about the best way we can do irrigation so that we don't lose water because the water available isn't enough. So we must do something to not to not leave them. So many countries that produce large amounts of food, including India, China, Australia, Spain, and the United States average of are close to reaching the water resource limit because they have been using a lot of water in the agriculture and that really affect day by day the world. As youth that attend this webinar, as youth that attend this, we should think about the best way. So in this presentation, at the end, I'm gonna give some powerful way we can react to save our community. Not only we have agriculture, and also we have population growth. imagine that population is growing. If the population is growing, more people will need water to drink, more people will need water to cook their meat. So that means that if the population grows, we need more water. But if we don't work today to save water, imagine that when we have more people around the world, they won't have water to drink, and consequently, they will be dead. So we should think that about that. And as humans continue to pump more carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, pattern of water and water will change around the world. So human has caused a lot of problems. Drought will become more common in some places, flood in other. Some places will have more drought, while some places will have more flood. And that really very sad to see that. And some places that are ice, like in the Atlantic zone, so the ice won't be present around the world because of the effect of water. So these changes will combine to make less water available for agriculture as we need agriculture to survive. So energy, generation, cities, and ecosystem around the world all need water to function. So we don't need they will like that. We don't need drought in every place. We don't need some places are flood. We need a well balance of water around the world. As we see in this map of drought, every place have the consequences of water. So we should think about the better way to solve that so that as humans we can survive, our children can survive, the children of your children can survive. We should think about the best way to do that. How can we react? How can we act? What you can do? You should firstly look out what consequences the climate has on water in your community. You should search that, and also you can be part of an organization that work on sustainable development goal 6. If your community doesn't have an organization that work on water, so create one. Found one organization that worked on water, on saving water. So we should also create activity and action on clean water and sanitation. We should do that. And also after doing all that, after planning what activity you can do, you must search partnership and fund to organize powerful activity so that people can join, and also you have enough money to do that, and also you receive water in your community. And then after doing all those things, you should organize conferences and webinar in your community so that you can reach more people, and more people will know the importance to save water and the action so that we have more water in every places around the world. We need a world so beautiful. We need a beautiful world. We need more water in every place. So for that reason, we should act now. We shouldn't wait the future to act because water is really important, significant to survive. Um, if you have any question, you can ask. If you have any question about the three presentation. I know, Zainab? Now we are waiting for the question directly. Okay, Zainab is there. Okay, Zainab. Hello? If you have any question about the three presentation, you are free to ask them directly to the speakers.
Are any questions? Then please feel free to drop in the chat. And now we will take questions before moving on to the breakout sessions. If you have any questions for Elizabeth or maybe for John Lee, you can drop in the chat and we will take it to them. So meanwhile, I think while people are writing their questions down in the chat, I would just like to share that we have two breakout rooms. So the questions for breakout rooms are going to be that you can share what are the consequences of climate change on water in your community. So that we can have like a look on what people actually are facing from across the regions. And I think it would be also important to highlight some of the good practices that how young people around you are taking action to solve these problems, because we have already heard of some very good examples from our panelists Elizabeth, and John Lee, and I think Malik also highlighted a very brief overview of the water issues around us. But it is also important to see how it is basically affecting people across different regions. So we would love to hear about this topic in the breakout room sessions. We have 18 participants as of now. So I will just okay, yeah. So before we move on to the breakout rooms, we will take a group picture. So if you all could open your cameras and please feel free to drop any questions before we move on to the breakout room if you have any.
Please open your cameras that we can take the photo.
If you want, maybe you can go and comb your hair in like quick 5 seconds and come back. We will wait.
Okay, great. I'm done with the picture.
John Lee, have you taken the picture or are you going to take it now?
Yes, I'm done. I've taken the picture. I'm done.
Okay, great. Okay, I think Jessica has some question. Please, Jessica.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Zainab. So I just want to briefly clarify of the expectations from the participants when they actually are in the breakout sessions. If you can maybe provide more information, for example, the topics that we should be talking about so that the facilitators and the participants we can have an interactive, engaging breakout session.
Okay. About the breakout room, those are the three questions that the participants are gonna work on. So I will share the link in the chat so that we can talk about what is the importance of leaders in your community in the sector of water. So what action can be done to save water to avoid drought? So that's the question that we're gonna work on in the breakout session. So we'll have 25 minutes to work, and after the breakout, one participant will present their work. So that's all that's gonna work.
Yeah, thank you so much, John Lee. Also, our moderators for the breakout sessions would be Jessica and Matthias. I think we have both our facilitators in the meeting. Okay, so maybe we can. I'm just going to create 2 breakout rooms and you will be assigned. You just need to click join or the option to basically join the group and you will be in. You can see the option now.
Jessica, please, can you join the room one? The room
Yeah.
one.
So I just want to say, do you still have the questions for the facilitation? The
Yeah,
questions that we're going to and in the breakout
yeah,
room? Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I'm going to share the link.
Oh, okay,
Hold
cool.
on.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
And after have you seen it?
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Join the room one, please. The room one.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll see ya.
Okay.